Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 669. Nice. Today, we'll be doing battle with Vanessa. And so, as the battle queues up, a couple of things to say. Number one, I'm not certain if a patch is coming out today or not. I think they typically announce a little bit earlier than the day of for the patch releases. And so, seems like they should be on kind of a monthly cadence and not a 2-week cadence. And so, I don't think a patch will be out later today, and this video should be relevant for a couple more weeks. Number two, not quite certain how much content I'm going to be able to get out over the next week. Kansas City is due for another big winter weather event, and it's most certainly going to affect me this time. And as schools close down and stuff, it takes away my ability to sit around and make content all day. And so that's probably coming up. Hopefully, we can get some more videos out besides this one, but you might have to go rewatch one of Crip's old videos or something to get your fill for the day. Watch Crip, watch Northern Lion for your last hour. Get some Bust in there. If Bust doesn't have a video, hopefully someone else can fill in that void for you. But nonetheless, with this start here, pretty shitty. All these items are not very exciting. And so the thing with Vanessa is you really want to be winning on day 10, day 11, day 12. Once you get beyond day 12, the other champions just scale so much harder than you do that you don't have much of a chance to win unless you manage to get some really spiky, high-rolly kind of stuff on your enchants. And so with that in mind, like a couple of things in here, both Ammo Flask and Manta Ray are fine-ish. Ammo Flask is good, but Ammo Flask is a much more late-game oriented kind of thing. And then you'll probably take it and just like lose on day one, right? That's the thing that we're really looking to avoid is losing on day 1, day 2, day 3. That's where Vanessa should be the strongest, and Ammo Flask is a fairly high roll on the earlier days in the sense that you got to have an ammo item for it to be useful, but the other items here are pretty shitty. The lighter is just bad this patch. Burn on Vanessa is not good. Like burning because you got fiery on a flagship, sure. Going full burn with like weather glass, not so much. And so not really interested in it. Shoe knife is a safe pick, shoe blade, whatever this thing is called, but it really falls off after like day 2 or day 3. And so as unfortunate as it is, I think I'm going to roll the dice and just try and take Powder Flask. If we lose on day 1, fine. But if we are able to get Powder Flask together with Double Barrel, or if we get Powder Flask together with, say, like Cannon for day 2, day 3, and then on day 4, day 5, we find our Double Barrel, then we could kind of be off to the races and have a strong build the rest of the way to where it just never comes together with Shoe Blade. And so I'm going to take the Flask here. It's a little dangerous. I'm admitting this is kind of a high roll necessity for the start of the game here, but we'll try to make the best of what we're offered up here. And so with this stuff, gonna take our standard start, gonna take both experience nodes so that we can be level 2 at the end of day 1, and hopefully get a little bit of a power boost before our first opponent. And so with this stuff here, we can beat the drone. You just take your item out, go into battle with the drone, and then it can't slow anything, and you'll win here. Cannot beat the Viper, though, without a starting weapon. And so we'll see what we can do, see if we can't get some wins. I don't think it's changed. It used to be in the past where if you had an item like Ammo Flask out that does absolutely nothing, that the drone would beat you. He's got this ability, right, that when you slow, a weapon gains 5 damage for the fight, and then the Stinger does the slow. And so the Stinger would actually scale up just a little bit and then actually kill you in the battle. But if you just take that Ammo Flask out, he doesn't have a target for the slows. He doesn't get any of that upward scaling, and then we have enough health to kill the opponent through the Sandstorm here, right? We're going to fall to 114 to the opponent's 100 health when the Sandstorm hits. Then looky there, got ourselves a victory. You learned something, you can turn the video off now. Go see what Crip's up to, And good stuff, pick up an insect wing. All right, so next set. Get the experience point, appreciate it. See if we get a good shop here in this last set. Okay, Quixel turns up. At least gives us some small and medium items. Maybe that double barrel makes its way in here. Cannon, that should be perfect, right? That's some pretty supreme payoff for our start here with the Ammo Flask. Cannon, typically pretty garbage, but with the Ammo Flask, it can be serviceable for the round. I'll also pick up the narwhal just to make sure that we can fill out our board. Then with this remaining stuff, I'm interested in all of the items, but the problem with the next thing is I want to have 2 gold to re-roll on the skill if we can have it. And so I'm going to pick up the honing steel and then pass. Ideally, we won't have to roll here, but if we have to roll, then we can just like throw away the narwhal or something. And this was a complete whiff in terms of what the items bring. And so we'll sell the narwhal. We're not going to get any use out of the honing steel this round, but just kind of is what it is. We at least got the kind of high roll on the cannon. We'll just try and survive otherwise. But with this stuff here, we'll take the left-handed. Going to be much stronger than the burn thing. Very low chance that we actually build around the burn thing this game. But the left-handed will always be good.
You should know.
Alright, so up against old Dooley. See what turns up. Oh, Rico Suave here. That was a hit song back in the 90s, right? Rico Suave was the song and not the guy. It was some Latino guy. Looks like he took a bath in baby oil, hung out on the beach, got some really ripped abs, and then made a music video. Very, very popular. It was back in the day when nobody cared about skin cancer, and so you would just load up on the baby oil. Head out. I guess you shouldn't laugh. It's not that humorous, right? Skin cancer is not peak humor these days, but that's what people did. You just load up on the baby oil, go lay outside for 8 hours, get a nice even tan, a nice even roast. Ugh. Not my style, not my thing. But nonetheless, let's move on. So we don't have any money here, right? Not a super fan of going to go to the non-weapon items and not purchase anything. So let's just snatch up these experience points, see if we can't get a little bit of money before we actually jump into a shop. Same deal here. Take the abandoned chest, get the experience point and the gold. We can most certainly beat most of the PvE rounds. This is a note I wanted to make as we come in and choose to just fight the giant mosquito. In that if you start round 1 and pick up the bronze tier insect wing like we did and don't use it, if you then come into round 2 and fight the giant mosquito, you get a very high percentage chance to hit rush, right? Rush is one of the premier skills in the game. At the start of each fight, haste a weapon for 3 seconds. Since we have the lower tier insect wing, we can't hit the silver tier one in here. So it takes us from a 1 in 6 chance to a 1 in 4 chance of being able to spike this rush. And then keen eye, a decent skill as it is. And so we didn't hit the big one, we hit the minor one in the keen eye, but still definitely nothing to complain about. Then with this, we'll typically switch over into just picking loot items, but we did get a bronze tier weapon, and we need something to fill out our board here. We can get, a little bit of direction hitting an ammo item, so that's kind of neat. Maybe that'll play into doing a full ammo build later, but it's at least not useless, right? So glad to snatch that guy up, especially as we say honing steel, the fast attacking weapon. But here, maybe we'll hit a shop on the next round. I'm a little interested in going to the medium item shop just to come in and try and find a double barrel. We're not going to have the opportunity to find too much money before the next shop anyway, so let's at least go ahead and take this one. Maybe we can find it. Upgrade to cannon is fine. We can roll and then maybe find double barrel. If it's got to be bronze, we can get it for 4, which is okay. Not ideal, but it's better than not having it whatsoever. I would like to pick up this star chart just for the docks bonus, right? You go to the docks, you can do the explorer thing for 5 gold, 1 experience point, but don't have the money for that here just now. Okay, and so yeah, we would hit a small and large item shop. Not that great on day 2, not a strong chance of hitting Crow's Nest. So we'll just take the chocolate bars here, get that delightful 30 health since we didn't have any money. Come out and fight this Vanessa. I'm going to hang on to that insect wing. I'd prefer to wait and see what we do, right? If we go single item with like a sniper rifle or a flagship or something, I'd rather cut the cooldown on those. If we go ammo or whatever, we can save it for the double barrel later. It's not a huge deal using it at this point. I mean, it's only 3%. It's not like we're giving up on the world's greatest item, but I prefer to have a little bit more info on what we're going to devote all of our money to. All right, close battle. Hooked up the win at the end of the day. he did have some duds in there with the lighter and with the seaweed. Wasn't super in tune with harassing his strategy, but it's day 2. You can't have it all the time. But going to try and do all of these PvE rounds that we can. Definitely happy to fight the Tempest Flame Dancer. Not certain, though, if we shouldn't just be having our double barrel underneath the ammo flask. We ran out of ammo against the last opponent. Like, the cannon shoots slower, but it does kind of the same amount of damage as the double barrel. Not certain which is better here. I know we get more damage out of the cannon because of the burn, but it shoots slower, and so it seems like we can get the 2 shots out of the cannon, and then the round is over before the 3rd shot matters, to where with the double barrel, we would be using that 3rd shot. But look how good the cannon is now. Your burn items get plus 2% crit. Spectacular, right? You could get one item that gives all of your items 4% crit, or you could get another skill that specifically gives your burn items 2% crit. Very, very powerful ability here in the Flame Dancer. I'm glad we can come out and get our dancing with that. But moving forward, let's take Colt. Let's see if we can't upgrade our double barrel, get some more ammo stuff along the way. Seems like we're switching over into a fairly ammo-centric build, so we'll take the grenade. I don't hate picking up Nesting Doll. You know, it's pretty early in the game. We can get some of these extra stacks on it, but it doesn't really do much unless we have some of the specific ammo skills, right? You want the one to where your weapons get plus damage for every ammo on board, or you want the thing to where, like, when you use an ammo burn, it's just a decent activator, but nothing super, super strong. The thing with it does act fast, and then it gets this little bit of scaling ammo. And we never want to spend an upgrade on it, but if we find an upgrade for it later, and it's getting the 2 ammo per day, it really does start to kind of add up. And so I think we'll take it. Not excited again, but kind of is what it is. We'll pick up the Pop Snappers as well, since we are pretty close to just filling out our board here. Just make sure that all the slots are at least taken with something. Now in this set, I know that we can beat both of these. The Dabbling Apprentice does have the better items. Either the experience points are fine, or you really want the burn potion, the 75 damage plus burn, but it's so good with the Eccentric Aetherite to pick up. The the skill, the haste skill at the start of the battle, so I think we're going to chase that one down. I have rearranged our items here a little bit, pushed the double barrel over so that it gets the bonus from our left-handed. I think that's going to be our high DPS item for the moment. And then I think we just take the revolver out and put Pop Snappers in. The revolver is not really dealing any damage out here, to where we can get a touch of scaling with the burn from the cannon and then the Pop Snappers. Alright, so the big grenade pop goes. Got some burn stack on there, right? I saw it get up to 12. Certainly seems better than having revolver on board and then getting these big chunk damages in with the double barrel. I certainly like how this worked a little bit more. The honing steel's not special out here, but I think our setup here was a little bit better. Now I definitely want to take this upgrade onto the double barrel. It's just our pure build-around item, right? If we're going wide weapons, we want double barrel. If we're going ammo, we want double barrel. If we want to go 2-item build, to where we say Crow's Nest, Captain's Wheel, and then 2 items, double barrel fits in fantastically there. It's just one of the premier weapons that we'll use across the board regardless of what we do. All right, good stuff there. Out of money again, though, so let's take the Lost Crate, get the experience and the dollars. One final shop here. Not really excited about non-weapon items. Let's just take the aquatic item. It's like maybe we really high roll and spike something big, you know, Captain's Wheel, Crow's Nest, whatever. They didn't turn up, but not the end of the world. So that looks good. We do have a little bit more space now, though, so I want to get this Honing Steel next to the revolver. And then I guess Nesting Doll, probably better than Piranha. Piranha's so shitty. Nesting Doll's so shitty, though. I guess it gains like 50 health across the course of the game. Whatever. Yeah, whatever, I guess. That's the true strategy of the game. You say, whatever. Alright, this should be a fairly easy round, though. I don't think the the Lang Zang is going to deal enough damage. If we don't get the kill, I think the double barrel will at least keep the shields in check until the sandstorm. But good stuff. Easy takedown. Opponent was building up though, right? He had his rewards card on his fixer-upper. He's not planning on being good for a few more rounds. Okay, all right. Well, we can dig into the small item shop. We got 14 gold. See if something interesting turns up. Upgrade to grenade is certainly good. I'm not really interested in honing steel. We're not trying to be some kind of scaling build. It's good day 1, day 2, day 3. You know, day 4 and 5 it really starts to fall off, and so I'm just gonna skip past that one and save the money. We'll take the upgrade to pop snappers though. I haven't been real impressed with throwing knives at all this patch. It's like port doesn't really cut it. So we'll pass on the throwing knives. Not to say you can't get builds like the do well with the do well with the port, but they always feel like weird things to me to where you accidentally say like found a bunch of bolas, right? So you got double barrel bolas, and then you like shoveled into a bolas and have just the good quality stuff that way. But are we going ammo? We picked up Loaded Fury here, right? Your weapons have +1 damage for each ammo you have on your items in play. I'm on board. You know, we were digging right in towards ammo, just needing to find a little bit of direction, and that's some perfect direction to find. But no money. Take the money and the experience. No complaints there. Who do we got here? And so with this, I'm leaning towards the Boiler Room Brawler. We can most certainly beat all of these opponents. The Deadly Crooner doesn't have any items that we want, though, to where there's some decent stuff for us out of this guy. We would prefer the Energy Potion, but like the Talisman is fine. Flashy Mechanic can be kind of useful. Time to Tinker, not great, but it does give us a little bit of sustain. Picked up a Sharpening Stone. That's fine. All right, next set. I'm leaning towards just going to the docks, but the weapons could be good. I guess we can land on like a silver tier weapon and still be able to afford it, like dropping 8 gold on a weapon. That should be fine. I don't want Submarine, but I am kind of interested in Grape Shot to kind of keep our ammo items up. And the thing I was looking for here as a weapon would be, say, like a Trebuchet. Still want to find a large item, probably. Doesn't turn up here. Don't really want Katana, though. I only like Katana if we have on-use scaling. So if we have one of those cloaks that'll haste it and scale up the damage, or if we have a skill that puts damage on it when you attack, those are all fine. I don't like it just on its own doing flat damage. So we'll skip past that. All right, last set here. Looks like we can go to the dunes. Keep stacking up this double barrel. Get them big damages going on our friend there. All right, up against another pig. So let's see. Yeah, we'll use the Sharpening Stone, pull out the Honing Steel, get this Grape Shot in here to stack up our ammo usage a little bit more. I think we're off to the races. None of this other stuff we want, right? Like, I guess I don't hate Honing Steel. It's just tough. You never know what pig you're going to be up against, right? If we're up against like a Ganjo pig and he has the scaling, if we don't get the immediate kill without scaling, then we're just going to fail. But, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, putting like a little bit of scaling onto a like revolver isn't going to be enough to outdo Ganjo. We just need to punch them as fast as we can, as hard as we can. Like this. Speaking of Ganjos, how about the double Ganjo? But this is fine. He has a shitty Ataladdle. It's going to take him forever to scale his to scale his ATM. We'll be okay with this. That was more talking about if he has, say, like ATM, Fixer-Upper, Ganjo. Once that scaling from the Ganjo starts to kick in, you know, there's a turning point to where we can't out-damage the game. But the one Honing Steel is not going to be enough. All right, though. Here, I think we could take the silver tier weapon. This is kind of the end of the road as far as taking arms locker goes. I prefer to pick up loot items. Just getting like burn isn't terrible with cannon. Ideally, you're going to get cooldown reduction, get experience points, get ammo bonuses. But we have some bad items on board here, so I'd like to see if we can't at least upgrade some of the weaponry there. Didn't turn up, is what it is. Aito, only 10 gold. We'll take the abandoned chest. Give me that money. Give me that EXP. Give me that nut. Are y'all familiar with that one? It's a classic song by Eazy-E. I accidentally heard it the other night. Like, we've been watching through Entourage again. It's such a throwback to the early 2000s, and they just play so much classic rap throughout the whole thing. But at the end of one of the episodes, they're playing Eazy-E's "Give Me That Nut." It's a very, very classy song. It's very Me Too centric, and I had to ask the wife if she was familiar with that one, and she was not. She was not up on her Eazy-E, but I knew it, and so that's immediately what you think, right? You hear this guy start talking. He's out here playing some nerdy video game with this hick ass voice, and then he's very familiar with with the works of Eazy-E, the collection of NWA and its members, and so that's what you signed up for. I don't know what Crip's telling you about, but Northern Lion out there dropping the Eazy-E bombs on you. All right, let's focus in. Let's focus up. Let's see what we can do. And so, non-weapon items, like, don't really want, we wouldn't be upset about putting Crow's Nest in this build, but as it stands right now, I would rather have, say, Vanessa Amulet and then just a bunch of weapons. And so just looking for one item, looking for, Vanessa Amulet out of the non-weapon item shop, not quite cutting it, right? If we go to small and medium item shop and Vanessa Amulet shows up, perfect. But not going to a bad shop like this just to try and find it like that. So we'll take the money, go and get the gold and the weapon. Garbage tier Piranha turns up. Love to see that. Now, what else do we got here? Definitely want Trash Town Mayor. Would love to find augmented weaponry, whatever the skill is called. Yeah, augmented weaponry. Your weapons get 1 damage when you sell a small item. This works fantastically with this width we're generating out here. Tough one to find, but it would be perfect. Give me that, give me that, give me that nut. Oh. I'm a sucker for the filthy lyrics. I do love quite a bit of the 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz gets me cracking up all the time.
I'm finished with fighting.
He's one of the great finds of my adult life. One of my buddies at work got me set on 2 Chainz. He's got so many wonderful lyrics. I mean, it's no like Notorious B.I.G. dropping stuff like I got techniques dripping out my butt cheeks. I got to sleep on my stomach so I don't mess up my sheets. Like he hasn't quite matched up to that one just yet. But
make me proud.
He's got a lot of good work out there. But good stuff on this round, right? Found a deadly revolver. Perfect pickup for what our build here is doing. Not super interested in Javelin. We're not going to be doing too much hasting at this point. Might deal more damage than, say, like the Pop Snapper's grenade. So it wouldn't be terrible, right? It is, I guess, at least a big punch of damage out here. Let's actually snatch this up. Free up some space.
Hey, when you carry my weapon, I fight alongside.
And in the next set, not really looking for any of these. No ammo items. Not trying to do long-term scaling. All right, then this is just the upgrade of silver. Put our double barrel in. Yeah. Okay, and then what's up next? Decent stuff could be out of medium items, but it's so tough for me to pass on the mountain pass. Try and escort the convoys, see if something good turns up. Foreman in here. Not going to have any real combos for us, but we still get a decent chunk of money, decent chunk of experience. Curious how the Notorious B.I.G. holds up as P. Diddy got into a fair bit of trouble for the weird shit that he was into. The lyrics from the Notorious B.I.G. often refer to Bad Boy, the Puff Daddy music label. I haven't heard too much hate going towards Biggie's direction, but you never know. You never know when somebody's going to pull a Kanye out there. All right, what are we doing here? We got a big big item, Pygmalion. Got big chunks of damage in at the beginning. It looks like he was starting to scale on us, but wasn't able to shut us down at the end of the day. Good deal there. Appreciate the work you do, Double Barrel. Jump into this next set. All right, and so we got a ton of money here. Let's take a roll on the sells poison items. I have fairly low expectations out of what we'll get from this shop, but the high roll potential on this one's huge, right? I'm not going to use Toxic Jite, but if we hit this kind of thing, like if we accidentally find a toxic cannon or a toxic grenade or a toxic double barrel, it is just so super, super, super strong in this patch to hit stuff like this. And so it's probably worth the investment. Look at that. Are we willing to put poison in place of deadly? I'm kind of okay with that. It's going to be doing like 5 poison damage per shot. 7 poison damage, even better. It adds up pretty quick, and this is a very fast shooting item. It'll continue to scale up as we get more ammo on board. Yeah, that worked out okay. It might have been like a little more expensive than I would have liked to have paid at the end of the day, but it's just a huge potential for good stuff out of there. I will pass on the weapon shop, though, just going into the docks, pick up a little bit of money. We're getting a little bit light in terms of funding. This, I don't think we can beat the Lich. Just such a tough opponent. We'll go to the Dire Inglet. We do have a lot of small item stuff in here. We could definitely do a bit of pivoting around towards these smaller items if we land on... Oh, it's aggressive. I thought he was the small item guy. Aggressive would be fantastic to pick up. Super strong skill.
Pathetic.
Nope, just money.
Spineless as a jellyfish.
Alright, what do we got here? Always go for these gold skills. The thing, like, we would prefer crit skills. We would love to find, like, inexorable crit, whatever it's called. But there's just so many bronze and silver skills within this that I prefer to just go to the gold skill every time. We tend to find something good enough along the way. I think this is the ammo one, right? When you use an ammo item, burn 3. And that's just perfect with what we're doing, right? Makes this nesting doll much, much stronger. Definitely on board. All right, now we got skill upgrades. Great stuff. Either Loaded Fury or Heated Shells would be fantastic. Landed on both of them. I think we just want to go for the Heated Shells. And then we'll really just focus in on ammo usage. So I've got sells ammo items up here. How much money can we get if we want, say, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? That's plenty of gold to take a crack at the ammo items. And so, good stuff in here. So, where do we want this to be at the end of the day? Like, I think the way we want this build to look is if we take what we have, cut out... I don't even know if we want to cut out cannon now that we've picked up heated shells. I think I would definitely prefer to have repeater in here. Maybe we do repeater and cannon. If we do that, we'd be cutting out, say, pop snappers and grape shot, keeping grenade, revolver, and nesting doll. And then we would need to find... the stuff that gives you, like, bonus ammo on board. Seems like a reasonable spot to be looking at repeaters here, especially since it does, have 6 ammo slots on it. Puts a lot of damage on our board. I'm a little interested in this bolus as well. I just don't think it's going to fit. Right, so we're looking to, say, pick up repeater. Cannon is the one I'm least interested in. It is kind of nice that it, burns, but we're getting 4 burn whenever we use an item. So if we just use grape shot, we're going to kind of pick up that burn there. Maybe we do look to put grape shot in. And then I just really like bolas. Picking up those slows is pretty nice. Let's sell this stuff we're never using. So right, getting grape shot. Bolas is bronze though, which is kind of the bummer with it. Maybe we let it go and we'll look to just pick one up later. And now here's the big boy, right? Pistol sword. Don't really have the money for it though. can pick up, what do we got? 6, 7, we can get there. So how do we want this to look at the end of the day? Probably grenade goes. I don't want to be full medium item out here. We would still have one more slot with the pistol sword accounted for. We can keep grape shot in. Both grape shot and toxic revolver shoot pretty quick. So they can load up on those heated shells. They can load up on the pistol sword activations. I think that's fine. We have 10 gold in here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're one short. It's a bummer. I guess. Like, Nesting Doll feels like the weakest one. If you want Nesting Doll to do anything, it needs to be like you started out and you picked up that thing that gives your rightmost shield item plus 20 shield. And so it's going to give like, you know, 40 or 20 or 43, then 42, then 41. Like, it's giving real amounts of shield. It's not doing that at the moment. But it's kind of a upward scaling item. I don't really want to get rid of it. All right. Well, it is what it is, I guess. Oh, that was 16. That was the 16. Okay. We were still one short with the insect wing, though. Let's go ahead and use the insect wing as well.
Don't go out at night round here, even with this on ya.
Just drop it on the repeater. It's our highest cooldown item. Maybe, probably should have put it on the powder flask, actually. It's not a huge deal. It's not a ton of cooldown, but I don't think we picked the right item there. And then I don't think we want to put the bonus damage on pistol sword. I'm never certain with this stuff. Like, it would be nice to left arm, right arm to have our bonus on pistol sword and double barrel, but we only have the left-handed at this point, putting the 20 damage on pistol sword. I guess without crit, getting that bonus damage out of the pistol sword is just better, right? The downside to pistol sword is the damage up top can crit. So every 3 seconds we attack, deal 54 damage. That has 4% crit. When you use an ammo item, deal 54 damage does not. And so if you imagine us being in a crow's nest build to where everything crits 100% of the time, when you use an ammo item, that bottom thing never gets that crit damage. And so it's a lot stronger, say, stacking damage on double barrel because it's going to be dealing double damage. But with double barrel at 4 crit, I think we want the damage stacked onto pistol sword. Okay. This is fine. It's not perfectly executed, given, you know, we have an item off board here and stuff, but I think we're definitely landing in the right direction. Up against a turbo poison build, I think we're okay. Pretty strong burn stacks out. Hit 20 burn on our first flurry. Very easy takedown. Good stuff. Okay, okay. You all ready for some more of that skin cancer humor? I'm getting it built up, I think. they did just have the 50-year anniversary of Saturday Night Live. I missed it. I didn't watch it. Here, let's take the bonus stacks. We don't have any money here, or the bonus damage. It's so interesting to me with Saturday Night Live. We're going to Cosmic Rock to try and hit the crit haste thing, and that like I can remember some of the very like memorable skits like from the early 2000s. Like the stuff that Will Ferrell did was very, very popular. Like the Spartan cheerleader stuff was pretty huge. All those dudes were getting movies made for whatever they did. Like Mike Myers had a ton of movies, Sandler had a ton of movies, Will Ferrell had a ton of movies, whether or not it was in universe or out, right? So things like Molly Shannon and the girl that smelled her armpits all the time, like that was a legitimate movie from the kind of heyday of Saturday Night Live. But it seems like they missed the transition to the internet, right? The Lonely Island guys just completely popped off with Andy Samberg and doing the stuff with the other SNL dudes and Justin Timberlake and the like. But like they super popped off in terms of being on the internet and being internet relevant. And then after that, it doesn't seem like anything is hit. I don't know if that's just because like I'm a boomer and I don't look at the correct stuff anymore, or it's just those people aren't doing that kind of thing anymore, or what the deal is. But It's just been very surprising that they've all kind of fallen off. But I didn't really grow up watching Saturday Night Live. I think it was because of Magic, right? If you were at a Magic tournament on Saturday, you weren't home watching Saturday Night Live because you know, top 8 in that PTQ or something. And so I would just never really soaked in, but felt like, you know, for something that should be such a like cultural moment, just being like, yeah, guess I missed it. It was kind of a bummer. They probably wanted my good skin cancer material, but passed on it. So that's why they aren't as hot as they used to be.
Don't rush it.
So here it's like I know we're doing some minor ammo stuff, and it's I'm just very tempted to look at the boulder, but I don't think we're on task with a boulder build here. I'm gonna have to skip past that. I'm a little interested in the gold shovel, just potentially high rolling into some of the bigger ammo tier small items. You know, if you accidentally roll into a freeze potion or something, could be pretty good, but we don't really have the money to fuck around with that, and we're, you know, kind of limited in our resources going into the next round. Like, I guess we could take Jitte and shovel, and then, you know, we at least have a full board. I guess that's okay. We can recover some of the money off of this shovel, just selling stuff as well. We'll look like geniuses if we high roll, and we'll look like dum dums if we miss. Now here, out of money though, no aquatics, no rando shops. Not going to take the chance to just try and find a high tier enchantment shop. Just take the guaranteed gold. Use the feather now. Catch some bonuses before the big battle. Let's see what we can do. Still haven't managed to find this Vanessa skin. I think I've got all the skins in the game except this Vanessa one. I know I have the like legendary Dually and the legendary Pygmalion, but I can't find this sniper rifle Vanessa. But seems like we're doing okay. Got some big burn popping off. Landed 16 poison on him as well. He only cracked us down for about 1k damage with his double barrel, and so feels good putting in the work we did. It's all because of that Jitte we popped off with. Umezawa would be proud. You all know about Umezawa's Jitte? Take that as a yes. All right. Lacking that funding, though. Just take the chocolate bars. I think we can risk some coin, spend the 10 gold for the experience points. I have a tough time passing on experience points. We landed on, looks like, +3. And now this round, I really hate that this pops up so much, the obsidian. Like it might be because like I just go for crow's nest builds like 75% plus of the game, but this is like such a bummer of an item for Vanessa in the sense that like it's very easy to have crow's nest, hit Sanguine Valley, which does literal nothing. It's very easy to go like no weapon, right? Pufferfish, or go Burn City, or go Weatherglass or whatever, and this just doesn't do anything. This has been like such a bummer moment turn up. Like I like the addition of the artist being added in to where you get a random enchantment, but the enchantments are so important this patch that this is just like a literal fucking disaster. I'm leaning towards just taking the artist onto double barrel. Like, it is nice having sustain. Like, in that last round that we just did, going against another Vanessa with double barrel, having sustain is important and strong, but just, like, off the charts is finding poison or finding burn. And I think those are the ones that I want to try and shoot for. And then if we miss and hit heal or miss and hit shield, fine. Like, that I would rather have the sustain as a consolation instead of having the sustain be our natural choice. So let's load up the double barrel, see what we hit. Burn. Fucking high roll like a boss. Perfect with our heated shells. This shit's about to get hot out here. So that looks good. We can look to fight the Infernal Frigate. He does some burn stuff and has like incendiary rounds, which wouldn't be the worst. Bouncer Tron has like the Gatling gun stuff. He's not exactly who we want. Cosmic Rock should be the consolation round this one, right? To where, you know, that crit skill is very challenging to hit. And if we're going to be real, we don't have a ton of crit on board anyways, so I think this is probably the better choice. We need to focus in on this burn. It's really tough for us to actually pick up a bunch of crit without Vanessa Amulet.
We barely got our flags up.
Alright, so that looks good. A little lacking in the money, so I'm just going to take the guaranteed 200 health on the round. Kind of considering doing that here again. What did we hit? Oh, we hit Narwhal with the shovel. Forgot to look. I think that's okay. Powder Flask is a small tool, but that's kind of a questionable upgrade path. Alright, we'll take the guaranteed regen and health. How much does Jitte do? 24 damage every 5 seconds? That's probably better than the Narwhal. I guess I don't hate putting thrusters in. A bit of cooldown reduction and a little bit of burn. We could do something like this. Bit of cooldown reduction on the Toxic Revolver and then onto the double barrel. I don't hate it. Okay.
I may be young for a captain.
And then its said opponent was level 9, so we should be in good shape in the sense that they haven't hit their enchant yet, while we've hit ours. It's got a... Looks like he's level 10. I mean, he's got a Radiant double barrel out here. See, this is the points where I'm talking about with Obsidian. This would be a decent place to have it, just battling up against another double barrel thing doing pretty similar stuff. But if we'd battled up against Pygmalion, if we battled up against Dooley, we wouldn't have wanted it whatsoever. And so I still stand by the way we went about that. Okay, let's go to the item shop, see if we can't get some upgrades on board. Bolus. Definitely looking better than the thrusters at this point. Let's snatch that up. Need to see what gold item we picked up as well. Sleeping Potion is actually quite strong. Oh, it's only... I thought it slowed their whole board. There's Flashbang that slows the whole board, but I think it's an 8-second cooldown, and then this slows 2 items for 8 seconds. But it's on a very slow cooldown. Let me switch this. I want to get Bolas in here. Okay. Alright, so what's up next? Enchant an item. Don't mind if I do. We'll drop it on the pistol sword this time. That's our next best item. Is that Radiant? Oh. We hit Shiny. But it doesn't really do anything, right? It gives the pistol sword multicast, but when you use an ammo item, deal 63 is not impressive. Bummer. Alright, let's go to the weapon skills. There are some Vanessa-centric things, like the ammo skill is a Vanessa-only skill, so you could potentially find it in there, but I think some of this other stuff should be fine. Like, improvised weaponry should be kind of strong in our build. We don't have enough crit to make it super strong, but if we can get these items up to, 20% crit, then we'll be popping off with that with a fair amount of regularity. Lifting is good, especially on a build that has, what do we have, six weapons on board, but, how many weapons are we really going to purchase the rest of the game? Especially as we go into the weapon shops and they cost a fuckload of money because they're all gold and diamond. And so I'm going to skip over lifting. We'll just take improvised weaponry. We need to find crit, so hopefully we can find some crit along the way. And this stuff, weapons platform is a large item thing. We'll go to the Blood Reef Captain. He's not... No, we should go to Pharos, right? We don't want the Crow's Nest. We don't want... we don't want the Captain's Wheel. Pharaoh's Khan has like left-handed, right-handed though, right? Left-handed, right-handed. He has Energy Potion. Those are all very, very strong items for our build.
Every mirror, every shadow, I'll be waiting.
I do love one shot, one kill, but it does literal nothing for our build. All right, next set, temporary boost is going to be good. Get that plus 25 damage to everything. What's up next? Medium items, it looks like. Got decent money, I guess.
What can I get?
Pistol sword upgrade, perfect.
Oh, I think you're really gonna enjoy that.
No money now. $5 in the old bank. Did we pick up anything decent? Oh, is that sleeping potion? Gotcha. All right, up against Vanessa. Let's see if we can get get abused for our shit talk of Obsidian.
My fight isn't
Yep, she's got her life-stealing weapon out here. It's a Langzang this time, not a double barrel. God, he just landed his freeze on our fucking double barrel.
You fall like a
Okay. I mean, it is what it is. How did he get that second hit in so fast? He doesn't have the... He's got a 7-second cooldown Langzang. Oh, the first 5 times your enemy uses a weapon, charge 3 items once. So we used our weapons and charged his Langzang. Sure. That's what it is. Okay. Now we're in that danger zone. Like, I'm pretty confident we could high roll into 10 wins, but I don't think it's super likely. I think we're just going to have to be happy with hopefully getting up to 7. Let's take the chocolate bar path here, not landing on anything from the shovel. Did get a bunch of money, though. I guess that counts for something. It's probably paid for itself at this point. Now with this, I guess we can take cinders. Save the money for a bigger shop later. Get that nice little burn nugget on our double barrel. And then I want to take the loot item here. What you got for us? Burn stuff, experience point. Experience point's gonna bug. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I hate it. It's so... I don't know. That Obsidian is such a... It just doesn't strike me as a build to where we would ever really want it, right? It's in these battles to where, like, if you're up against a fixer-upper, you don't need it, right? You should just be shredding their shield to where they don't deal any damage, and if they're dealing 5k damage off of their fixer-upper weapon, then you're just dead anyways. And so you don't worry about that. With Dooley, it's kind of the same thing. Dooley doesn't really play scaling armor builds in this, and so you don't need to sustain through what he's doing. Just I think we've caught a bad run of the opponents here. But with this set, let's fight the Alchemist. He's got decent stuff for what we're doing. Retool can be useful. I don't think we have a Rainbow Potion, but there's some potential there.
If I mix the sulfur with the copper resin...
Why is the damage so low on our pistol sword? Just because our ammo ran out? Alright, let's take a chance. What you got for us, Mac? I think he has ammo stuff, right? Ooh, Frost Potion. That's a definite maybe. I have to see what we can do with that. All the stuff, right? Frost Potion, Sapphire to boost the boost the time on it, and Bottled Lightning. It's just... I'm gonna go ahead and snatch him up so we can think about it a bit. But I know it's easy to think back to like 3 or 4 patches ago when you're playing Port with the Frost Potion, and you know, trying to get that together. I think we could switch into Port. It's just that we're kind of like separate ideas in what our build is trying to do right now, right? I know that all of these items between Rainbow Potion, Frost Potion, Bottle Lighting all have armor, or all have ammo on them. But we're just trying to kind of burn through our ammo super fast and get a big heated shell stack, right? We're more into heated shells plus fiery double barrel plus damage from pistol sword, as opposed to, ooh, I'm gonna Frost Potion your whole board, right? And so I don't think we're super interested in the Frost Potion. I'm trying to, like, I don't hate Bottled Lightning. It ties in with what we're doing with the big damage, and the burn is kind of nice, but we need one of those things, that skill that say, like, gives all of your items +1 ammo to make these worthwhile. Otherwise, one activation isn't enough, and we would need Port, and we don't really feel like a Port build. And so I'm going to take him just in case things change across the way, but it doesn't seem like where we're at right now. With this, I'm going to stack the damage onto Pistol Sword. So when we use the ammo, they get that extra bit of damage boost. I think that's better than putting the 10 damage, 1 burn on the double barrel. All right, up against Pig. Let's see how much we can hate this round, right? if we can't beat the back-to-back Vanessas, we have to be able to beat the Pig, right? Looks like he's on a square Pig. Holy shit, he's got a a fucking frozen atlatl and he's got a frozen cutlass? Jesus Christ. Okay. I guess Pig, you get like bootstraps. Pig gets the frozen boots that when you upgrade an item, it carries over the enchant. That has to be what he's doing to get Icy Atlatl, Icy Cutlass. I don't know. This is another round to where Obsidian would have been very good, and not having it is a real pain in the dick. Now we land on the worst enchant this patch. Okay. I guess we'll put it on there. We can't overwrite any of our good skills. Can't, like, overwrite poison or something. Alright, well.
Ships may sink, but I'm a good swimmer.
Been brutal. Been brutal. Alright, let's turn it around. We got to get that one last win. So, the ammo items. I don't hate seeing grenade. That's a big chunk of damage. It's a lot of our money at this point, though. What do we land on? Silencer? I mean, putting silencer next to double barrel might be the way to go at this point, or even the pistol sword. So let's do this. Let's take the grenade, take a roll. We can sell a bunch of stuff if we need to, if something good turns up. It did not. In the next set, we can go to the dig site. We get a free roll in here. Just try and make some money off of this. 8 from Pete, 8 from Shark Ray. I think Hatchet sells for about 8 as well. Let's take a roll, see if a big item turns up. No, just negative money now. Alright, let's keep gambling then. Don't want the regen. Alright, I'm going to do one more. Well, Diamond Flail sells for 16 at least.
Hey, you're a natural at this.
Okay, so that goes with this set. I think we can beat all of these. We have the fast acting stuff to take them down. The hulking experiment might have a thing. I don't remember. Parting shot. When you use an ammo item, it gains crits. Not terrible. Regen for ammo is not bad. He has an energy potion as well. We are lacking in haste. I think he's reasonable. Just try and high roll one of the items instead of taking... Like, I'm pretty certain we beat Awakened District. We kill him before he can activate. That would get us a level up, but the level up at this point... it is a ton of health, but I'd love to spike one of these really good items.
Pathetic.
Energy
As
potion.
spineless
Nice.
as a jellyfish.
Unfortunate that we only have the one activation for it, but it does spike for a long time, right? 6 seconds. Okay, let's go to the skills. What do we got in here? Use your leftmost item and burn. I don't hate. Loaded Fury does get to upgrade the bonus damage. Alright, let's take that damage across the board. Definitely want the temporary boost for the plus 25. And then I'm looking to take out bolas and put an energy potion. Like, that should be the easy one. The question I have is if, like, silencer is worth it, right? I think we probably... Grenade is so strong as well. 225 damage, but we don't have the refill, right? We don't have the port to make grenade particularly good. It's the 30 damage on double barrel better than grape shot, though. That should be less damage. Right, I guess it does, like the grape shot, or the double barrel does get plus 3 burn. Like if we come in like this. Gets it up to 21 burn, so we get to drop 40 burn every time it shoots. It's probably just the best thing that our build has going for us. Like, we lose out on a couple of, like, pistol sword combos, right? But, I mean, maybe... Would we rather just be all in on the double barrel and then have the pistol sword be what it is? Just 100 damage for an ammo use? Maybe that's the way to go. Just put all of our eggs in the double barrel basket. All right, let's see what we can do.
We're out to dethrone a king.
See
not
how
to
it goes up against the
squabble
old,
with nobodies.
fixer-upper. We haven't fought it yet. Here it is. Always got heal on it, not poison. Interesting. See where that, if that burn can roll down his shields to keep the damages from coming in. Nope. Okay. This kind of is what it is. And so that's a bummer. Like I felt like we definitely should have been strong enough to get to to get to 7 wins, and we fell a little bit short. And so like it's so tough. Like I'm not certain if we chose the wrong thing. There's 2 things that really kind of strike me with how this went, in the sense that on the grand strategy, the overall strategy, maybe it just isn't enough this patch to be going for pistol swords like this. Like pistol sword is typically quite strong. Like we're so close to just being like a very powerful build with this, then it's just like a little bit short. The thing that I note that we didn't do within this game is scale up our attack, right? The big thing that we're really lacking here is we don't have any crit. And so we don't have that ability to just come in and pop off super hard, right? If you think in terms of crit and the idea of it just being 1% damage that gets added to your items, I don't know if that's mathematically correct. I've heard people say it, and it makes a bit of sense to me. But you know, if we say take out this silencer that's putting a direct 30 damage onto our fiery double barrel, and replace it with a, say, gold tier Vanessa's amulet that puts 30% crit on all of our items, like that flat 30 damage we get from silencer is way outscaled by that massive amount of crit that we get from the the Vanessa's amulet. And so like that's the number one thing that I think we're really lacking in this build, is we didn't find enough ways to scale up our weapon damage. Like typically you usually have like a 300 to 400 damage double barrel or something, and you have a lot of crit and you have ways to get all this damage in. We just didn't find it this game, right? We didn't get the augmented weaponry. We didn't find anything that when you attack get a weapon bonus. We didn't find anything to get crit. Like the large scale stuff that you would get to scale up the damage on your weapons, it isn't here. We saw weights, but it was way too late. We didn't find iron sharpens iron. Like all of those things we didn't find. We have it to like a little bit in improvised weaponry when you crit your weapons gain damage, but we're really lacking in the terms of that big scaling damage. And we were really kind of counting on heated shells to be that big scaling damage, and it just wasn't enough, right? We weren't churning out enough ammo usages to make this worthwhile. Now, it may have been enough if we had taken obsidian, right? If we had given ourselves the opportunity to scale up a bunch more burn. You do need a little bit of time for that burn to kind of tick through and do its thing. And so that might have been the mistake there, but the vast majority, excuse me, of our burn was coming from this double barrel, right? If we finished off the round with the opponent having 160 burn, it's probably because the double barrel shot 4 times, and that got, 4 times 40, whatever that is, like, is that 160? Like the smaller amounts would have just been coming from the other stuff. And so it's like we don't have the time to just sit around and fuck around building up that burn, because the majority of our burn was coming from the double barrel itself. And so like I think that's where things kind of went wrong from a strategic standpoint. We could have done a little bit more in terms of trying to find those scaling things, but like over the course of the game, what did we skip on that we would have been able to do? Like, did we skip on any skill nodes? Like, probably. We probably skipped on 1 or 2 skill nodes along the way. But I think at the end of the day, we just kind of missed that, and it just kind of is what it is. After that, the other place to where we really fell apart this patch is in the enchants, right? As you go into these rounds, the thing that really determines if you're able to be a 7-win build or a 10-win build is going to be the enchants that you hit, and the ones that we hit just aren't it, right? We did luck out hitting burn on double barrel, which I do concede is exceptionally good, but that was just like a luck of the roll, right? I don't think this build would have been doing anything with obsidian. Like, do you really want to be going up against a fixer-upper build with your sustained Vanessa? No, you don't. You just get fucking annihilated every time. Like, it was a low roll that we ran against the Vanessas that countered our Vanessa, like, time after time after time. But I don't think you can just choose to do that. It's like, I refer to a lot of this stuff back in terms of Magic, right? If you didn't play Magic, I'm sorry, but the people that hang out in our channel, or at least familiar with Magic or Legends of Runeterra or something, if you're like playing an aggro deck in Magic, right? That's what we're doing here, is we're playing an aggro deck with Vanessa. The thing in your strategy is you never go, I want to put life gain in my burn deck so that I can play the game out longer so I can cast more burn spells, right? It makes sense as a strategy, right? I want to survive longer so I can cast more burn spells, but it's not a successful strategy. It's not the way that you actually go about winning games. You might win a game or two because you were playing a burn mirror and you survived longer than your opponent did and you're able to cast those more burn spells, but like the vast majority of the time, you're wanting to put, your fast creatures on board and do everything that you can to kill your opponent as fast as possible. And so, like, that was kind of the downside of, like, passing on that Obsidian. I think that we made the right choice and then just ran into opponents that accidentally beat that choice. But the other enchantments that we ran into are just complete dog shit, right? We got multicast onto our pistol sword, which is just shit, doesn't really fucking do anything. And then Radiant is complete dog shit this patch. If you're trying to do the absolute most powerful thing you can, because that's what it takes to beat a fixer-upper, Radiant isn't it, Obsidian isn't it, Heal isn't it, Shield isn't it. You need Burn, you need Deadly, you need Poison, right? That's why we're kind of hanging out with this Toxic Revolver. And so, like, we just missed on all of those. And so, I think all things considered, with the way that this game went and not being able to find any of the weapon scaling, the damage up or the crit up, we probably weren't going to get too far beyond 7. But, like, that transition into 6 to 7 was just a complete dumpster fire. We got 2 shitty enchants. We ran against 2 opponents that were Obsidian. We ran into a fixer-upper, and then we just didn't have the crit and the big damage to plow through that and actually catch a victory when we needed to win like 1 and 4. And so, it is a bummer, but it is what it is. I think we handled this well. I think we did the shopping well. I think it was nice that we kind of recognized that the port build might be assembling itself, right? With the double barrel and the energy potion and the frost potion, but it wasn't quite there. And we didn't have the means to pivot over to it just yet. And I think that chasing down this idea of just trying to drop as much burn as fast as we can with these various wide ammo items was the way to go. It just wasn't powerful enough to get there at the end of the day. Whew, and so, good stuff. I had fun with that. Hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So if everyone enjoyed the video, hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way. You had a good time watching. This is Bust of Me. Thank you for being here.